Good day, everyone. We'll wait for people to load in. Maybe I'll ask for a minute of silence so we don't disturb the atoms while people beam in. And you can all correct me on my non-understanding of science, biology, and Star Trek. Luckily, not too many of you were here when I said that. Give it a moment here. I still see people loading. Cold indeed. Gonna hit a cold snap this weekend, getting close to -30, I think, Celsius. All right. I think most of the attendees and their AIs are loaded. We'll get this kicked off. Welcome, everyone. Really happy to have you in our first partner webinar of 2026. Again, a little bit of a recap. I'm VP of Product here at Augmentt. We put these together for you guys. This is not marketing stuff. Goal is to keep you in tune with everything we're releasing, which typically moves very fast. Hopefully a quick kind of deep dive in how to use it and what's coming soon, so you can be prepared for the new stuff. So let's dive right into it. So I'll talk about the product updates. We've released a few things since we last met in December. So groups templating and deployment, I think I spoke about at that point in time. We had some enhancements in Vision, so you guys can do this a lot faster. So I hope you've revisited it. So, if you look at our typical way of doing conditional access templates, for example, right, they need a wizard. You kind of got to do them one by one because they've got variables to tag in and everything. Um, oh, thank you so much. I almost made that mistake, and I think I made it on the first of the year last time as well. So, whew, thank you, Matt. There we go. And of course, as usual, that moves all my screens around. So let me get that back. Ah, thank you. And so um, now what we've got is a way for you to do bulk select of your groups and kind of base them line in one super simple flow. And I'll show you how to do it in a quick moment here. But basically, just do multi-select in your environment, create your template, choose if you want it to also be a baseline. Takes seconds now rather than importing every group manually to make them a baseline. So we're happy to put out that enhancement. That'll make your lives better. Jumping ahead here. So why is this in? There we go. So engage user profile enhancements. Huge update. I think I talked about it again as something that was coming soon. We shipped this out a couple weeks ago. Looking at the statistics, you guys are using it a lot, so I want to make sure everyone else is aware it exists. So there's kind of three main things we've done when we tackled this one. So one is the additional profile details that are available in Entra. We made sure to give you access to more of those user properties. When we did that, we made sure you could edit a user within Augmentt, which was not available at the time. And then we improved the modal for users itself to have more usable data. And I've witnessed this when I still typically do onboardings here and there to make sure I stay in tune with kind of our partner's first experience. And what I found amazing is people would quickly see a name, see it's highlighted, click on it, and then kind of be like, oh, that's it. And so now you see all the user details, you have all the available actions built right into it. And now we're showing you things like, MFA protection status. I think we may have less sign-in or things along those lines. So super, super helpful insights when you click a user, which is available in most of our reports. So you don't have to be engaged to get all this data anymore. So I think that's a huge win. And I'll walk through it in a moment as well. Um, as we all know, Augmentt is making a big push to be able to allow you to do in-tune policy management. We've released our V1 of this. We've been making continual incremental updates, and this current one is obviously down here in the live environment. For a while, you had JSON. We always knew we were going to make it pretty, like we do on every single one of our other pages, so that it's usable, readable. So you have these collapsible kind of sections, and you can quickly expand and get your details. We'll click through those, but it just makes it a lot more usable, and it's setting us up for the next step, which I believe I've mentioned before, but you'll be able to edit these in the future like you do for our conditional access policies. Oh, great question. So I'll grab it just because I was there. And let me catch up on something I typically do. If you're interested in asking questions, please put it in the Q&A rather than the chat. Keep the chat for fun, banter, etc. That way I can track it and I make sure I get the answer in. But someone did ask if we can define default countries. So I'll touch back on Engage's default templating capabilities. Yes, you can do that. I'll move ahead here. Intune. So I got so excited when we released Intune V1, showed it to everyone, and I think I forgot to mention, it may be in the release notes, but I typically like to show you guys all the functionality here. I think I forgot to call out that we did add additional permissions to Intune. So anyone who was a current customer at the time, Secure typically covered like all the modules. And so we made sure that from a migration perspective, if you had access to Secure, Intune is now set to that same level. So, disable read only or managed it matched. But you do have the ability to go in here and change those settings. So if people have different functions within your organization and they should get managed on Secure and just see Intune or not see it at all, please go ahead and manage those. Quick second here. So this is exciting. As we get funding, as we mature as a company, as we're building out more stuff, and I continue to work closely with you guys to build out our community, get your feedback so we can stay more aligned in what we're building. We have put out a public roadmap that we're delivering on, and if you look at it in a moment, I've had WordPress issues for a little bit, mainly by my fault. So I'm a little bit behind. I'll be catching it up shortly, but I think it's really good to be able to demonstrate, publicly now, what we're planning on doing, what is currently in the works, what we've released for you guys. And they're linked back to the community from a voting perspective. We're managing that through the community, which I'm always boasting about now. It keeps growing. There's a lot of chatter going around it. We add more details in the new roadmap section of the community about all the features we're planning on building. And this is so you can go and make comments or say, I don't like what you're planning on doing. This would be better. We're posting screenshots around different versions of the approaches we might take on UX. So we're hoping to get high engagement on that so we can build things that really work for you guys. I'll jump into the demo section and then we'll come back to what's coming soon. So let me just swap screens here. Thank you, Levi. He's dropped the roadmap right into the chat, but basically go to augmentt.com and roadmap is in the menus. Okay, so let's click through some of the stuff we just went through here. If you go to our secure Entra section, so you've got your groups here. This is my environment, my groups. A lot of repetitive stuff because we do automation in here for testing purposes. And then you have your templates. So the templates are basically taking what you have and creating baselines so you can then copy that between tenants. So what you'll do is you'll go in your groups, you'll say, I want, these guys. I'll create my template. I say that should also be a baseline. So when I try to deploy it, it takes all three and drops them at the same time. Uh, you know, can give it some names so people know what it is. You'll even get some of the details around what they are, right? So I can see that this one here is a security group. We support your dynamic user groups, your dynamic device groups as well. hit save, it creates it. It's now in here. Here's my favorite uh, one. And oh no, sorry, actually it's this guy down here. I'm lying. My favorite default groups. So it's that simple to import. I know you guys are typically doing, especially if you're deploying Intune and stuff, you probably have 20 or 30 of them because you use them to manage to turn things on and off, which is really smart. So this should make it super fast. I'll jump into Engage and just quickly show the new user management model. So I'll pick a user here. So I have all the additional properties, right? So the type of user, sign-in status, blocked or allowed, the user's roles, the licenses they have, do they own mail, do they have mailbox rules enabled, when was it created, so on and so forth. You guys can read, maybe I shouldn't have to do that. And then you can go to the user properties, right? These are all the additional properties I was talking about that are available in Intra. And then you can edit those. So when you go in the editor, you can do your user properties, your groups, and your licenses all at once, and then just hit the save button, and that's it. You've updated this user. And of course, what's changed is now we've got all your actions for a user. So they used to be available here, and obviously they're available here. But now what's different is I can go to, say, my security posture, which is a pretty typical use case we've kind of heard about, right? So, oh, I was in there before. Um, you know, I'll look through my inactive user's posture and I'll see that, this guy's never logged in or whatever, and I can simply, so you don't have to remember him, go to engage and block him, because I could just block him right here, or rather probably offboard him in this case. You can do this from any of the postures. Anywhere where a user is clickable, you've now got the links to perform the actions and the remediations. Um, I'll jump into the Intune policy viewer to give you guys a taste of that. So again, when you're in here, policies is your environment, templates is what you've saved so that you can start replicating it across customers. Both of those have now been updated, so it's not the JSON anymore. You've got the breakdown of what's inside the policy and what it will apply when you choose to deploy it. And then you can go back to any customer's live environment and see the policies that exist in that environment and what settings it currently has. Because reading JSON is no fun. And then I figured I'd show you guys the roadmaps. If you just go to products here, you've got a product roadmap right here. You can see what's in progress, what's next in line, what's been released recently, if we have any betas going, and then what's under consideration as well. So this is where we'll have a lot of the things that, myself and many of you have met Amanda, our UX researcher and designer. We're always obviously thinking forward of the next things and trying to gather data around it. So you might see additional stuff pop up in here, such as this brand new item, and give your input on it, which is great. You'll also notice probably that once we release stuff, when it applies, for example, here, we've got instructions listed. So we link you guys right back to the KB if you want to use it. And then on the community side, we added this new roadmap section where we list everything that's on the roadmap. And I think now I've got a little bit of cleaning to do on here and to show the stuff that's been deployed specifically, like this guy. But we want you guys to come in and comment, such as this happening here, which is fantastic. Let me see if, oh yes, and I said I would, so going back to Engage, and this is for, hopefully I say correctly, Cohen, when you're in Engage, we do have default settings, and you can create these generically, so globally across all your customers so that they always take these settings. Obviously, that limits the amount of settings that can be pre-configured. And then you can go to a specific customer level and say, I would like to have these onboarding defaults for this customer. And then in here, you'll be able to set things like country, default phone number, default groups, default licenses, so on and so forth. And then, oh, I chose offboard, which is why I was Wondering why it wasn't showing for a quick second, but here's my onboarding example where you can set things like the username format that this company is using, the default domain, your country, and then you've got your licenses here. If you buy them from a specific CSP vendor, you can put that so you can quick link and buy and things like that, especially when some of your customers may buy them from different places. And then your groups, etc. Disable it, PowerShell access by default, so on and so forth. So this is all your default templating. And then just because we're on the topic, I'll also remind you that when we're creating an employee, so it'll either use those default custom settings or you can copy the settings from a different user as well. And then as we click through, of course, I showed you guys that you could edit all the properties. We did add them on the onboarding flow as well. I'll have to choose some licensing here. Uh, what did I fail on? Robbie is failing miserably right now. Username. Oh, I need my department. There we go. And then these are your user properties. See, Matthew caught it quicker than I did. Awesome. It's almost like having a YouTube. You guys can just tell me what I did wrong in the comments. Yeah. Okay, I'll switch back to the deck very quickly and we'll get through the rest of this. Let's show you what's coming soon. Yeah, and I don't think we made departments a default. I think Microsoft did. There we go. Okay, so jumping into what's coming soon. So what we're working on right now. So we've got some Intune updates, and I do want to call out something I messed up. So a little bit of you're not crazy, which is why I've got the little crazy guy there. We gave everyone Intune a free trial. I think it was semi-obvious that, it said in it, hey, this is a free trial till end of year, and then it disappeared on you. What was supposed to happen is it was supposed to disappear, but still be available in your NFR. As you all know, we give you the full product for free for using the NFR. And of course, we want you guys to know the features even exist. So that's going to pop back in very soon. So if you don't see Intune, you want Intune, just reach out to, support or your account manager. They'll be glad to make sure it gets to the right place and get you a trial, so on and so forth. Get that enabled. And then currently the focus is more device configuration types are in the works. So we currently support the device configuration profiles. Microsoft has those kind of broken down under different uh, APIs depending on the type of profiles. You've got your Mac OS, your Windows 10 settings, Windows 11 settings, so on and so forth. There's a few missing that partners are using that we're re-adding. They're more of the legacy types, but from a template and deploy perspective, it's easy if you can use the ones you've already got. So we're working on that. Um, Next will be Defender policy remediation. So we've gotten a lot of feedback that um, we don't give you good insights on the new Defender policy security checks, how to remedy it, right? So we used to link you down on this icon to the Defender uh, policies section where you can do it all, but it didn't tell you which setting you need to turn on or off. Well, those are available in our data, in fact, because we get those policy recommendations from the Secure Score. So what we've done is we've linked the instructions to that button, and then you can just open up your Defender policies, create them based on these directions so that they go and satisfy the security requirements you're trying to satisfy. So that should be nice and helpful. I don't think I even mentioned that this was coming. We kind of got a quick win by some of the work we did in implementing some of the stuff, the groups stuff that I just showed you meant that we had access to distribution lists. But distribution lists is more of a, get a call, can you add so and so to a distribution list, or I need a new distribution list for this team. It's really that engage type of motion. So it's off the screen here, but that's going to show up under Engage section. You'll have a new distribution list, and then you'll be able to see the existing distribution lists, add distribution lists. we've reduced the amount of screens that you need to go through. So if you're using Microsoft as an example, right, you got to click into the users, select the user, uh, and then being able to choose to add them. So they're like three screens deep. We're trying to fix a bit of that usability as well. So you get to see and select the members all in one screen rather than seeing them then selecting them in a separate screen. So we think that's kind of nice. You'll be able to see the sync status, members, type of list, so on and so forth. In fact, fun fact, I should say, um, if you go in your distribution lists through Entra, and your distribution list was created in Exchange where it might use Exchange-enabled mail accounts, Entra will misrepresent the members of your lists. So I thought that was very interesting. Augmentt won't. Next, so posture drift alerts. So this is a big one coming. We have a lot of posture drift management generally. I think you guys are aware of, the type of alerts we get. We've now went through and systematically covered every single alert that exists so that if it changes, so it goes from good to bad, or I should say good to worse, right? So from compliant to non-compliant, or from compliant to partially compliant, or partially compliant to not compliant. So a negative impact, you will get a drift notification. And this is why I mentioned a while back that we built out the enablement, because that's going to allow you to configure your posture drift alerts to match your auditing. So if you're using customize the audit, choosing not to follow certain or monitor certain posture items, maybe lack of licensing, customer won't pay, whatever it may be, certainly you don't want to start getting alerts around them. So that's what this will allow you to do. As always, you can configure those globally across all your customers and then do exceptions by customer. So that's going to be a huge lift. That's coming shortly. So look forward for that. And that is the end of this. On the roadmap side of things, so updated here to show what we've recently released with the Engage, and then working on the posture drift. These are all the items I just mentioned. And then, next in the hopper, if you guys are interested in talking about any of these, but we're going to be adding company tagging so that you can, more easily see. The feedback I'm getting is like I might have a company in an onboarding process or prospecting, trialing. What stage of that are they in? Have I sent them the threat report yet? Am I waiting for feedback? Do they use a third-party product to fulfill a certain thing? So those are highly things we're considering, and you'll see those on the roadmap as well. Apps and scripts replication, Intune security recommendations, compliance templates, all things we're working on. In-app audit log, we're designing and will be pulled in soon enough as well. We're aiming for this quarter. So let me, questions are piling up and I'll get to those in a minute. And thank you for using the Q&A. It helps so much. On the learning track, so on the 28th, next week, Intune policy playbook for MSPs. And if I can do a quick pre-intro for Sai. Sai is a recent addition to the Augmentt team. He's been with us for a couple months now. Has over 5 years experience at an MSP. He was their cybersecurity expert as well. He even created the majority of the Intune out-of-box policies that we have, which are compliance targeting. So I'm looking forward to this presentation with him. He'll be driving most of them. I'm just going to be there for show. And next we have Colin and Derek. I think Derek's on the call if he wants to say hi, but we've got automating Microsoft billing as well for those who are very interested in that. That's coming out in February. And as always, I'm inviting everyone to join the community. That's again linked on our website, linked through the roadmap, community.augmentt.com. We love having you there, getting your feedback. Next, I'll say, interestingly, I always say, hey guys, this is for partners. It's not a pitch. We're not marketing you. but kind of like Intune. And by the way, I'm sorry, not Intune, YouTube. I think 50% of the content I consume now is probably YouTube. You'll hear the very typical, we know you're watching, but you're not subscribed. You mind doing so? Well, we're aware by our analytics that part of you, some of you on these calls are actually prospects. People who are looking at our solution as a possible solution to their problems. And so marketing forced me to put this here. I didn't want to. Done. And of course, I'm open to questions. And because there's a bunch of questions, which I love, by the way, I love when I'm able to get through questions and see some of the engagement. So, and Levi's part of marketing, which is why that was all funny. Let me see if I can answer some of these questions. So, are you considering on-prem AD connector to create edit users in a hybrid environment? That comes up. Um, Look, am I considering anything and everything? Absolutely. Should we have conversations about it? Yep. Should you post on the community about it to get me and other people involved? Absolutely. You know my email address, first.last@augmentt.com if you want to talk about it and it's important to you. You know, it's not officially on the roadmap yet, but anything that solves real problems for you guys are things we're considering. So open to having those conversations. Um, Next question is, are you thinking of a way to automate distribution list members like we have with security groups? I'll need more context. So um, I'm I distribution security groups, I should say, or groups in general. I know you guys will kind of template that because it's non-customer facing, right? Your customer in this case. They don't typically see them, and you're using them to manage access to feature settings, configurations, so on. Whereas distribution lists, as far as I understand it at least, is usually very typically customer facing, and they'll use this to, send emails to different people in groups or tie them to certain, products and things like that. Um, so I'll admit, and the question was posted by Jerry. If you want to talk about that one, I'm not sure I understand how we would automate distribution list members, but then again, I don't know everything. So if you have any thoughts on how that could happen and be better, and we can improve, iterate and improve on the distribution list feature, I'm all ears. So, Matthew said, is clicking the Defender link supposed to take you to a different screen? Mine just goes to Defender policy. So again, I just want to reiterate that was in the coming soon section. So right now it links back to the different screen. You guys have said you could do better. I said we agree. We're making it better. That'll ship in the next release. So of course you'll get the release notes when it comes out, etc. But that was just letting you know that it's coming very shortly. But it will allow you to, it'll have a pop-up when you click on it instead to give you those instructions. So coming very soon. Is backup of Entra ID settings already on the roadmap? Um, yes and no. So what I mean by that is if you look at things like conditional access, right? You've got restore capability, rollback capabilities. That's essentially backing it up, right? We have all the data. It's there for 3 months. If you need to roll back, it's happening. That's officially on the roadmap for like you're going to get your Intune drift alerts, and that means you'll be able to roll them back because we have the data, right? We're going to work that through all our policy management. Will we eventually get to where you can have your Entra ID settings and policies and then roll them back? The answer is yes. Is it on a short-term roadmap? That's not locked in yet, right? We'll prioritize as we get there, right? We're working on Intune right now, as we are all aware, amongst other things. We'll be doing Teams, we'll be doing SharePoint, OneDrive, Entra, so on and so forth. And again, you guys need to yell which one is your top priority. We know we'll get through all of them over time. As everyone here knows, we got funding, our pace is increasing. We'll do more and more of them. Hopefully some will happen in series or, sorry, in parallel rather than series. So that's kind of a vague, yes, but not like on the short term officially that you might be thinking. Someone asked, how do I get access to the Intune NFR? Well, Levi's going to read this and get someone to reach out to you. So pretty easy. Good job. Does Augmentt have a Discord channel? We do not. Definitely open to it. We're using community right now because um, again, that allows something to be posted, be reviewed later if someone asks a question. Um, I don't know. I think Discord channels work if there's a lot of people simultaneously in it, but I'm happy to get my mind changed and set one up. Let me know. Or piggyback off something that's already there that's working. You let us know. And let me just read. This one's a bit longer. So, are there any plans to add automation to when users are added or removed from conditional access policy? An example use case would be someone see a policy adds them to for travel purposes and stuff. Uh, I'll definitely say that's on the radar and that's on my mind. So we have a lot of competing priorities when it comes to like policies in general, right? So what do we want next? Is it some level of automation on top of them? Or are we going to do, cross editing on multiple tenants, so on and so forth. So this one came from Jacob, like amazing feedback. Definitely things we've discussed internally. It's always a push and pull for what gets done first. Will we eventually get there? Oh, it's absolutely something I want to get to and do. And so put them on the forum and I read them all. To have a pet channel in the community portal. Well, that can happen. Vote for pets. If you want pets, I'll add a pet channel. No problem. Maybe we'll make a marketplace too. Okay. Um, I think that I've covered everything question-wise. Again, appreciate the engagement, appreciate the time. We look forward for feedback. If there's something I should be talking about or touching on during these webinars that I'm not, we like to hear it. These are for you. We want to make them better. Thank you for the time as always. Nice seeing you. We'll see you guys in February.